Going over the best solo high round strategy for Eisendrache and Black Ops 3 Zombies. We're going to be going through it step by step, and now the first thing we need to consider is what gobblegums to use. Now this is the gobblegum setup I'm using. First we've got alchemical. This is really the only essential gobblegum out of these 5, and either you need alchemical or cashback, one or the other. If you have the choice, then always take alchemical. It's strictly better than cashback. It's like 2 cashbacks and a bit more. So you always want to, and on top of that, you have an unlimited amount of alchemicals. You can't say the same for cashbacks. So always run alchemical if you have it. And the reason why you need it, of course, is because your main issue, and when you're doing high rounds, is running out of ammo. Immolation liquidation. Now this is to set up quicker, so to get my shotgun, either haymaker or bricky, quicker, as you're going to need those for the panzer. Now we've got perkaholic. This is so you can get all the perks on the map and saves you points on buying perks, and having 9 perks is just really useful. Shopping free. Now this is so you can open up the map really early on. Ideally you want to get in the first couple of rounds, and if you do, you can start doing the dog heads and get the bow super early on. And finally, I'm running cashback as well as alchemical. Now people typically run one or the other, not both. However, the reason why I'm running both is because you may be thinking there's other good gobblegums for going for high rounds. For example, round robin is really a nice gobblegum. So is head trauma or pop shocks, because it helps you deal with a panzer. Or self-medication is good just for preserving your life, or your perks, I should say. Now, the reason why I'm not running those perks is because they conflict with our ammo gobblegums. And what I mean by this is, I'll give you an example. For self-medication, say I use a self-medication at round 50, and then I need to use an alchemical a couple rounds later because I'm running low on ammo, then it's going to get rid of that self-medication. Or if, say, on vice versa, if I already have an alchemical and I use a round robin, then it'll get rid of my alchemical. And if I need an alchemical and I start running low on ammo, then that's going to be an issue. So it just clashes with your ammo gobblegums. So that's why I just like to run ammo gobblegums and setup gobblegums. So these 3 are the setup and these 2 are the ammo. If you don't want to run cashback, a decent alternative is Undead Man Walking. This is just nice as another setup gobblegum because it means it's easy to get your bow, because when you're doing the steps you don't have to deal with a sprinter behind you, but instead a walker. So that's quite nice. Now that we've covered gobblegums, let's go over the actual strategy itself. Hey, so first off, I'd like to apologize for the grainy footage. I didn't realize this until after the footage had actually been recorded. There must have been an issue with my recording software, but I do apologize for that. But let's get into the strategy. Now the first thing is you want to make sure you don't open up this door that I've circled. The door's to the left of HVK Warbuy, which that Warbuy is to the left of a gobblegum machine, and this is in the power room. And the reason why you don't want to open up this door is it'll ruin the camping spot that the strategy uses. Now the next thing is you want to build the shield. I like to build it at church, and you can find the 3 parts around the map for it, obviously. Now the next thing is you want the storm bow. To do that you're going to have to get the regular bow by doing the dragon heads, and then upgrading into the storm bow by shooting the bundle of sticks, as well as doing the anti-grav little challenge, filling up the urns, and also shooting the bundle of sticks again with the electric arrow, getting your electric arrow and then putting in the container and filling souls up with it so you can get your lightning bow. That's just a quick breakdown of the steps. And then next is you're going to want Ragnaroks as well. Now you can get the first piece by going to the rocket test site, and when the rocket is going off you have to flip a switch, quickly run back, wait for the make it back in time, wait for these 3 lights to go green, and then once it's done that you have to interact with it and it should give you a piece that you can pick up from the teleporter. And then finally the third piece you can get from using the death trap, or what's it called, death ray trap, and which you can kind of get, and you also get the third one by killing the Panzer Soldat. So you can kind of do 2 in 1 there, because you can use the death ray trap to immobilize the Panzer Soldat and then kill him and get both at once. Now, to get the one from using the death ray trap, you're going to need to use the wonder spheres around the map, just depending on where it's spawned in the sky. So just look up in the sky and figure out the trajectory, and you should be able to get it from there. Now, once you have the Ragnaroks, once you're built and have the Ragnaroks, the next thing you're going to be looking at is guns. So this is where Immolation Liquidation comes into play. You're going to want I actually think the Breche is the best, not the Haymaker, after they gave a nerf to the Haymaker a while back. It's up to you though. The KRM is okay as well, but I found it to be the weakest of the 3. So when trying to kill the Panzer, so I recommend just one of those 3, but ideally the Breche. And yeah, and of course you want to Pack-a-Punch it and double Pack-a-Punch it. I don't think the double Pack-a-Punch variant matters for killing the Panzer, so I guess you can go with whatever, but I just went with Blast Furnace. Also, as your third weapon, it can really be anything. I just picked up a war weapon with Dead Wire just in case you need to resort to training. If you completely run out of ammo in your Sturmbow for whatever reason, you can still resort to that and training at the death ray area. But really you can go with pretty much anything for your third weapon. You want to make sure, and I made this mistake actually in my run, is that your third weapon isn't your shotgun, because if you have Perkaholic and you lose your mule kick when you go down, you're going to lose that gun as well. And often pretty much the main reason why you'll go down is because of the Panzer. And so if you don't have a shotgun to kill the Panzer, it's going to be quite hard to kill him. And so make sure you don't make that mistake. Now, the next thing to pretty much cover is, once you've set up, how does this camping spot work? So essentially you stay by the door and you shoot your lightning bow, and that's about it really. Once your lightning bow's expired, shoot another shot and just continue doing this, and it's pretty much that simple. It's very easy. Make sure you're hitting the Gobblegun machine every round. Ideally you want to be looking for alchemical or cashback. Really those are the only 2 that matter at this point, and you just want to keep doing that over and over. The other thing I'll mention, the reason why Ragnaroks is really useful is because you can use them and place them down, I reckon is the best choice, which kills all the zombies, and then you can use your pick them up, use your lightning bow to recharge them, and it pretty much just means you can conserve your lightning bow ammo. So that's a way of conserving ammo. Also, if you're running really low on ammo and you have, you're not getting anything good from your Gobblegums, and as a last resort, you can try use the Tramfuse to pick up a max ammo. Sometimes it does give it to you, which is pretty useful. And the other thing you can do for max ammo, I didn't do it, but it's not a bad strategy, is if you do all the steps of the wolf bow up to the point where you put the wolf arrow in the box, you should know that if you put an arrow in the container, to do the last step to fill up the souls, it'll automatically give you a max ammo. So if you do all the steps up to that, it means that you can pretty much have a max ammo on demand if by putting the arrow in the box, and that can be another option. And I guess the last thing I'll cover is Panzer. So how do you deal with the Panzer? Now, the Panzer comes at round 12, and he comes at every 5 to 6 rounds after that. And so pretty much you want to track what round is coming at. So you'll at round 17 and 18, my recommendation is to run over to and every 5 to 6 rounds after, pretty much every 5 to 6 rounds after he's come before, then my recommendation is to run over to the death ray trap and wait for him to spawn. Sometimes he won't spawn right near you, he'll spawn a bit away and you have to wait for him to run up, which can be a bit hard to determine when you should use the trap, but don't use it too early, because that's actually how I died in this game and how I ended up losing this game. So make sure you don't end up using it too early, but also not too late, of course. And once you use it, he'll kind of just fly up into the air, start flailing his arms around, and then you want to shoot for the little yellow circle in his chest area. This is his power core. This is where you do the most damage to him, and so just spam your shotgun at him. Eventually you should kill him. If you don't kill him, this is where the Wonder Sphere comes in handy. You can run back into the Wonder Sphere and use it, assuming that the rocket launch thing isn't going on. So make sure, actually, it's a good idea to check in advance if the rocket launch thing is going on before, just as the round's starting, before you use the death ray trap. Now, that's pretty much the tactic for killing Panzer. If you don't kill him in one, you're going to have to use the Wonder Sphere, and I recommend just looping back round. You know, it's alright if you're not that conservative with your lightning bolt ammo, and then use the death ray trap again to kill him, because the cooldown of it's actually not that long, so it should be up pretty much by the time you get back. And I'll just say that how I died wasn't because I ran out of ammo. I died around 71, and it wasn't because I ran out of ammo. It was actually just because I forgot that it was a Panzer round, and what happened was I realized I ran over to the death ray trap quite late. I panicked and I thought that he was closer than he actually was. I used it early. He didn't die so he actually got immobilized pretty late. I didn't kill him. I ended up getting down, and I just ended up making a mistake, and it costing me the game, which is so yeah, just don't make the mistake. Always be aware of your Panzer rounds. That's the biggest thing, and make sure you use the trap at the right time, and always aim for the power core. Those are the 3 biggest tips I can give you for killing the Panzer. And make sure you have double tap. You're going to need double tap to kill the Panzer. So those are the 4 things really that's gonna help you kill the Panzer. And that's pretty much it. I would say you can get to round 80 or higher maybe with this strategy. Again, ammo is going to kind of be a concern. I was running a bit low around 71, but I did still have alchemicals that I could have maybe picked up from the Gobblegum machine. And as I said, you have transfuses and the wolf bow thing, so you have a lot of different options for ammo. And worst comes to worst, you can just train in the death ray area with dead wire until you pick up a max ammo. So yeah, or you can always even build the wolf bow early on completely, and then switch to using the wolf bow in the death ray trap area instead of your lightning until you pick up and just switch to that pretty much permanently as a change of strategy. But that's up to you. But this strategy is definitely good for 70 plus, I would say, likely 80 plus as well. It just depends. But yeah, I think the strategy is super easy. It's really hard to screw up on. The hardest thing is the Panzer fights for sure, but if you pay attention, then you should be alright. Thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.